said, phew. Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we are here taking a look at a Patreon request. Shout out to Beth for the request. It is BTS or 방탄소년단's track On. We have an official music video, a Kinetic Manifesto film, and the dance practice. So I believe I have seen this before. I've even learned the course of this choreo just from online learning way back in the day, but I don't think I've really ever done an analysis really of this at all. This is technically my first BTS analysis for YouTube, which I'm very excited for, and just knowing that Sienna's on it, the lab's on it, it's gonna be really cool. I love this era of movement in general in the scene, and so I can't wait to see what they bring. I also have another request, Dionysus, that's going to be coming soon, and I think these are around the same time, and so this is a really good intro into their movement quality of this era to help me with that one. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check it out. The old big hit music video, Rev Up. Oh, it's so fun. Dead people is not fun though, so that's definitely post-war vibes. We're here for it. No, the type of tracks definitely gives like the triumphant flair to it, so I don't think I've seen the music video, if I'm being honest. I think I've seen the dance, but not the music video. Run, boy, run! Look at all them animals. This part right here. Wow. Oh, hi there. Hey. This is a really good song. So is Not Today as well. Yeah. 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 It's a good hair color. I forgot about this part. was a dead bird in the beginning, wasn't it? And now it's alive. And the thorns have now turned into a conch. Did he dump the water out before he tried that? Because he just brought it up. Normally it should have water in it, right? Now it feels like we've entered into Mordor. Come on! Hey! Yep. Yeah. We're raining fire down. Look at that! I love that they're able to just like casually rock up this really steep AF rock. That's so fun. Run, 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 run. Oh, and it was the wrong song. Does she run, run, run? Yeah, it's giving Pride Rock energy. I love it. That's so fun. That's so fun. No More Dream. That's like their... Ah, that's cool. Okay, okay, because I know No More Dream was their first track. That was their debut track. I love it. I love it. So go from No More Dream to Dream. Oh, that is fun. Next up is the Kinetic Manifesto film. This is what I think I have seen. Yeah. Come on. What's up, Sienna? Let's go, Lab. Look at the ISOs. Yes. Yes. Love me a good march on tempo, I'm telling you. Hey. Love that. Just the subtlety and feature transitions is so fun for this. So this, I've learned this choreo right here. Sheesh. Shout out to the drone people for not hitting people when they do these shots. I would run into someone very quickly with that thing. Yeah. Uh-huh. Ah. Yes. Come on, sugar. Love it. Nice in the back. How they traveled it was nice. Oh, there's that basket run. Oof. That's nice. Guys, the power of tempo walks, or walking on a particular rhythm together, goes such a long way, especially in these types of concepts. Yeah. He said, phew, and up, and come on. Yeah! There's dance break. Yeah. Yeah. Fullness right there. It did look like the group on stage, right? They walked a little bit more, so they were more spaced out than stage left. That's interesting. You can only really catch that stuff in aerial shots like that, so yeah. On and on and on and on. Yeah. Cool. Come on. That was dope. That's cool. It's such a nice shot too. Like this location has been used for a lot of dance visuals, just in general that I've seen. It's just a really cool location. I believe it's in Cali for sure. I can't pinpoint where. It would be in LA maybe. I don't know, but here we go. We have the dance practice now. I am hopeful that this is, in fact, a fixed cam one take, which I believe to be the case. I can't wait. Let's go ahead and check this out. I don't think I've seen the dance practice before. Come on. Yeah, you better cheer. Get this mess done in one take. Let's go. Yeah. Nice. And they do double time over there, and they will go on tempo there. Nice. So if you notice, there's a lot of levels that go on. Uniformity. If you're choosing to go unison, on the more militant band, marching band type of influence, part of it comes with precision. So the lab has a really important job of maintaining that cleanliness unless they intentionally deviate like what you see there on the drumsticks. Yeah. No. Oh my god, is he barefoot? No, two of them are barefoot. Way to freaking go. Live your life. I wish I could pop off barefoot. My podiatrist would kill me though. I love how we catch a little. Oh. Ah, you notice some of the dancers, they have to clock the precision on it. Nice. 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 Yeah, it's cool. Hey, no. Yeah. they're watching they're watching people in front of them. Yeah, yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, now that's a fun way to do a little cypher moment right there. Ah! Fun. Yeah. One takes are so fun, always. Yeah. There we go, V. Yeah. Yay! The celebration. We're here for it. That was so well done. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because I understand the lab, I understand Sienna, I understand BTS for sure. I also know they can hold their own mighty fine singing this mess live. So there is there's no qualms with any of that. This is really fun. Really, really enjoyable, and I love the fact that we get to talk about it here. Beth, you're a real one for the rec. Here we go from the top. Here we go. So the concept, I mean, there's probably, I'm going to be honest, it's probably a much deeper concept than this, but just going off of the general public, let's say, who've never seen this group before, who've never seen anybody, don't know any affiliations, XYZ, they're looking, you're going to see marching band, right? So what comes with a marching band in concept is uniformity, precision, because whenever you think of the competitive side of that and how you create these visuals and these transitions, which you do see a lot throughout the choreo, especially with the tempo walks, oh, I love them. You're looking and you're going to be matching range and also sound. So how they, whenever you hear with marching bands, you hear how the sound projects, you're seeing the overall look, the precision of it, where is everybody where they need to be. So formations and transitions are vital to get as accurately as possible for the sake of the visuals that you want to have. Now, for this, some people may be like, well, Jess, this is better to be viewed in the film version. You're right. I mean, I love a good drone shot, do not get me wrong. But if you think, I would assume if you're at a concert and let's say I'm in the back balcony, I'm going to see it from this vantage point if they're going to perform it like this on stage. So what's really cool is this choreo actually looks very well executed cinematically and in a fixed cam. Sometimes choreos pick one or the other, and in this case here, it's very well fitting for both, which is really cool. We're here for it. I love the fact that we have different things that exist, so I like that they're hyping each other up. I'm always a fan of that. It's great. And then here, the fact that they're not moving, way to freaking go. We're not moving until we need to. It's great if you don't know Sienna, which I know in most people that are watching, you know who she is. This is Sienna right here. And fun fact, if you did not know this, she also choreographs for XG. And if you've seen XG's work, you notice it's different. A lot of it is different than this type of like aggression, right? And I really like it. This has very full and very difficult to do for as long as they're asked to do it. All of them, BTS included. That's why it's always impressive. Just whenever you have such stability in vocals like them, but their choreography is so dense and full. It's just always admirable. I always have a huge respect for it. Always. Here we go. So they've all hitting, so you have all the members hidden behind. So this is all marching, and they have to have super aggressive but readable ISOs. So they can't let the hands be influenced off of the direction of the body, or it's going to cause this line to get off when you're in columns like that. So that's super cool seeing that. Down, up. I love having your front line go up, down, and this nice little reveal of more people. So I love that we get to showcase more numbers. It's really nice. There's your ponies. We're here for it. Notice once again, we're not letting the arms be influenced by the lower body that much, which is cool. Then they go into just every other line goes in a respective direction. They're doing the same thing. When you have a prop like a drumstick, it is an extension of you, and so how this drumstick is held is going to influence what your range and your timing looks like with the person next to you. Just like when you all wear different outfits. When people wear different outfits with different textures and textiles involved, you could run into the risk of it not being as clean, because some people's material may flow at a different rate of others, and that can therefore influence when a movement finishes to the eye whenever we're looking at a group in a unison section. So this just is a very interesting thing just to think through. But with the prop, it's very nice. They do a very good job on, for the one take, having it very readable on what their arms are supposed to do, when they're supposed to be together, and when they're supposed to deviate. Those are really important. You have to be good at both, and it has to be structured well to calibrate for both. From here, I love that, just the subtlety of the lower level. Notice that where are drumsticks? They're facing out, so the hold is similar, but you also have to make sure that how your arms are. Do we have it wrist to wrist in line with the elbow? Do we have it where the hands are resting fully on the arm? Those are little details that can influence how those drumsticks come across. Because if I'm putting my hands here and I have this wrist out, notice that this is a bigger liability on the range being off than if I placed my hand here. It's more stable, and I'm going to have a more consistent line. So those are little baby things that can be very helpful to get your look that you want when you do unison concepts, or if it's the same arm but just different direction. When you have a direction involved, then you have to make sure these things are in check. So if you look at Sienna's case, she's resting her arms on each other. She doesn't have her wrist overshooting, so it's going to be the same every time. So it's not going to come down to where is it supposed to be. It's supposed to be by the chest or by the head. My gut tells me it's kind of like we're showing our eyes, like so. But I'm only going off of the dance practice. I'm very intrigued about the discussions for this, which I think is always really fun. And they go and they reset, and then look, oh boy, I love me a good level. So we have a whole little runway ready to go for Jimin. I like having these groupings over here with the arms up with the sticks crossed. Now, whether or not one stick isn't crossed to the other, that I don't think is as much of a priority in detail as whether or not you're crossing or uncrossing. There's always like a list of things whenever you have a certain time frame, what is worth cleaning and what is worth just kind of living with, because it's not really going to influence how it comes across in big picture. And that would be a good example. So having the levels right and whether or not your shoulders are high or low matters more than whether or not the right stick or the left stick is in front of each other. As long as the shape is made, right? Then they are down, drop a level. Now some of them are hinging more at the upper back versus the hinge of the hips, but it does give the impression, of course, if you go off the choreographer, Sienna's one of, she's one of the ones that headed up the choreography. Are there more people involved? Most likely. So I would love if somebody could put in my comments everybody affiliated so I could pin it so everybody recognizes who the choreographers are. We're going to give flowers where flowers are due. Even if I'm not able to say off the top, that doesn't mean that I don't value whoever was involved. I'm just not aware, just based off the information that Beth gave me and also who I'm seeing in the video. So please keep that in mind. So this right here, I love the body roll on that. So notice that they take the arms. It's not really quite like a full fixed point, but I like having the body snake from low to high. Then you have what's going on, which is slow tempo walk. So when I say tempo walk, it's like it's affiliated with what's going on in the music. So they're walking based on a sound or a rhythm in the music. So I would say most of the time it's either going to be a half time, double time, or on tempo. I love seeing that. It's always great. So there's two things happening pretty much at the same time. So you have two groups on the sides. I do think my group on stage right is more spaced out, but we could very easily chalk that up to the fact there is a mirror here and they cannot spread out. Like this room, they can only do like so much, and it's still a huge room with a lot of people. Like this is mega crew size, right? Which is really fun. And so that's why the spacing I think is off. I didn't clock it on the Kinetic film, so we're just gonna chalk it up to that. Totally fine. But going back, let's look at the inside group here. And I like Orsean, Jimin is hitting Orsean. It's always really nice how they're able to polyrhythmically captivate through the usage of their movement quality. So like they're not only vocalizing, having to do that live, not just live, and then also hitting different parts of the music at the same time. A lot of people don't think that vocalizing and dancing is polyrhythmic. It is, because it's two different things happening at the same time that are different, right? So they're doing a fantastic job on stage presence. They've always done a great job of that. They've been extremely hard workers. Just even whenever I wasn't an analyst, like, it's really fun to see. So they go accent up with our two lines, and then from there they go high low. I like that. And then they create the visual and expand it over into, I believe it's just windows. And then it is interesting that we have our grouping right here. They decide to go habada wee over here, traveling across, when normally a lot of times you would see both groups do that in mirror, but we don't. We see this group hanging out over here, vibing out, having a great time. And so I like that we have, it's not even in windows, it's just they've made all these little mini columns. So it was very well done on everybody on the spacing, because the spacing can get really caught in that can be a very constructive thing that can happen when you deal with big numbers and you're doing a concept like this. Remember, we got to go back to the universal concepts of marching bands, right? You have drumsticks in your hand, just like you're the drum line. It's very specific, right? So the precision of your spacing matters just as much as your transitions do. So the fact that it's very well done and you can clearly see the visual shift, you're staying on brand to the concept, which is nice, at least on the universal side of things. There's always a deeper meaning. We love it. Now, having Jimin, he goes boom, but really nice fullness. He's using the chest, locking that in as he places each interruption, bringing it up to his body. Really great way to clock him in the center. We're here for it. I love these levels right here. So it's such a fun thing. And so they have their arms, they're extended. Notice how they're holding the drumstick. They're holding the drumstick to where it's going to rest right here past the wrist. Those placements there and where their head is looking is so freaking vital to get the overall look, not just to look with the hands, but to look with the body too, and where your weight is going. So that's really nice. So you kind of see, I love that we have just the intention with the elbow. We're here for it. I love this arm extension as well. I also do know too, I don't know what year it was. It was either like, it was like it could be 2019 or 2021. I don't quite know. No, it has to be 2019. The lab competed HHI, which in Mega. So, this is not the first time I've been exposed to lab mega crew perspective. So this is kind of be the closest thing to an HHI analysis that I could do for now. But we're not even going to equate it to that. It's not the rules and regulations. That's not what we're looking at. But I'm just telling you, like, there's an importance to your levels and your staging and your spacing, especially when you do choose to go about it in this way. So they're doing, all that to say, they're doing a fantastic job, and it doesn't surprise me that they are, because I've already seen them do it a couple of years before whenever I was training to be a judge. So I love that they take the arms, whoop, they bring them up nice and strong, and then right here enters. I mean, honestly, how did V get there? Now, I also have a question. Does V prefer to go by V or Taeyong? Taeyong. Like, I don't quite know. So then V's right. How did he get there? Let's look. Oh my. How did he get there? I love it. I love when you can't. Oh, there he is. We found him. Yep. So he's right there. He just pops in right there around the back. And hey, shout out to the fact that they're both in gray, so it was easier to hide. So that was kind of cool, whether or not that was intentional or not. That was sweet. Yep. So okay, cool. So they're just having to modify or kind of do something over here just to make sure to kind of cater to the spacing that they're in. Bring it over. I love this. It goes up, boom, boom. Really nice fullness of his chest pop. Really fun, and I like the rotation going on with the dancers, with the drums, like boom, over, and then they go and they reverse it. I love that choice. Having those in the back, it can look very muddled very quickly with the drumsticks if people are not on top of what they're supposed to do. And in this case, so far, we're looking good. Love it. I like this little bounce coming into this. Really nice. Here for it. He takes it over. Boom. Little pot de beret action happening there. And then I love this this just the stoicness of the stillness. Stillness is just as beautiful as full out movement. It's because it's a really good environment setter, which is what you're seeing here. And then you have this other group that's about to pop off over here with their arms at level. So it's really nice on that. Then you have another group coming in, the little rock does give a little rockaway vibes, which I think is super fun. And then you have V still Ving, which is nice. So it goes over, boom, 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 head. We love it. Love a good high ISO. They shoot those arms up, and then we go really nice transition in the levels, nice and low, and we come right back up. There's so much going on, so it is a lot to talk through, but I think this is really enjoyable. And this right here, we have a nice little interlocking, and I really like this introduction with this pulse on this. This is RM, but if you are an older BTS fan, you know he used to be called Rap Monster. Rap Monster! I never thought I'd be able to say that in an analysis. I'm so glad. Rap Monster, RM, in this case. Anyway, so nice little bounce. Oh my gosh, yeah, so we head over, boom, with a little head ISO. Instead of looking from right to left, we're actually tilting the head. So these are a little bit harder to get really full compared to these because we're naturally used to doing this motion compared to this motion. So I really like it. It was still just as full, and I like how he accented it as well. And notice that how he's bouncing and swinging, not really swinging, but there's this a little bit more fullness in our choice as we're marching through. It's not really a march, but it's more like a crawl, not a crawl, but it's like we're about to pounce. We're like in the forest going on a bear hunt. Kind of feels like that. I think it's fun. It's nice. And then they go da 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 da, and notice there's a nice little reset going on with the legs, and we have this little tilt going on too. It's a very interesting pose for the fact that we're interlocked. And also notice we have to keep the drumsticks in check here. Very impressive, because normally whenever you let your torso deviate somewhere, your drumsticks are going to go with you, or any extremity based prop. So that's really fun. I appreciate the discipline and the thoroughness of really focusing on these. It is not going to be perfect, guys. Like, it's not possible, but we can appreciate the work ethic and working with a prop, because I recently worked with a fan for a dance cover. Lordy, just getting the positioning of it in the transitions are really tricky. So that's really well done. And they go and they pop it, boom, boom. I love that choice. They drop it down now, so now they're naturally no longer interlinked, which is a really fun way to transition it. Then from here, they're able to rotate. Now the question is, where are we rotating from? Just in general? Are we having space? Are we making it more condensed? My gut tells me we're just rotating it around, which is fine, but I love the sway on this. So I like how we're pulling from the hip, and then we're letting the rest of the body push and project forward, which is really nice. And then we have this little gallop on the tail end, and now we're interlocked again. I love the seamlessness of that. So that's super cool. This, gorgeous visual, because part of it is you can count it technically, but sometimes it's better to just go off of the flow, literally, of the person that goes down. You naturally want to start going down too, and then that follows suit for the other one. So this does give that Nutcracker, what is it, like the Rockettes, they do something like that. I find that to be really, really fun. But Nutcracker, you know, you think like he looks like a soldier, right? So I think that's why this looks really, really fun. And the interlocking definitely makes it feel more connected, obviously, because they are connected. That's cool. He has this nice moment. I like how he accents and rolls through, which is really nice. They go and rotate. Now, some of them have it really, really close. Some had it spaced apart. That is, you know, that would just be something that just happened once, or is that something that's just they normally do? Yeah, so you have my guy right here. He's holding it in this position. They're doing like 5 to 7 different holds in position, so it is very easy for you to go to the wrong position, especially if it looks really similar to another one. And I don't know if they have a mirror for this either. The mirror is over on the side, but I know there's some buildings that have mirrors that are on multi-walls. I know in most studios I'm in, we only have it on one wall, but it's just something I've learned when I've looked at dance practice footage. It's just the power of how many mirrors a room can have. It's fun, but this right here, I love that, really fun ripple. So there was one little wave through the bodies, and then just a nice little militant reset facing the back. He has this moment, turns to the back, and this right here, I call it's like a box step formation change, where you have every other, and you have one of them go front, go back, then they go the opposite direction, then they go opposite direction, opposite, the legit opposite the whole time. It's really nice and it's clean, especially if everybody hits the same dynamic. So I don't even think they even technically completed that, which is fine. I just think it's fun how we had that nice little moment over to Yeah, so really what they did is normally you see this complete all the way, but they go back, and then instead of going and overshooting across, they go right here in the middle. So the responsibility falls on the person for this back, because they're able to see what the front person is ending up, so they can calibrate accordingly if you're going to go columns like that. So it's just interesting to know like who's responsible for the focus of a formation when you're in it. And a lot of times if you're going in blind, normally the most back person, like the front person is responsible for knowing where to set it. The back person, if that front person deviates, they have to calibrate accordingly to maintain the integrity of the formation. So then from there they go, and I believe they clump up a little bit more like that, and then they march away. Spacing I think could be a smidgen improved from this grouping here. It felt like we accelerated right in this section, but we maintained spacing in this section. Such a subtle thing. Really, I mean, we pick our battles here. It's really not that big of an issue at the end of the day, but it is something that if we just observed. And then you have this other group that I've been waiting to see what happens. They're about to come on from stage left, and I love that. So it's a fun, this is a fun way, especially if you're looking at a choreo from a concert hall, like theater kind of stage. This type of group would come on from the wings, and so it would feel like we just multiplied our people. It's a really dope visual depending on the environment in which you see it. So this was really cool because the camera, if you think about it, the camera is kind of acts as wings, like the dark sides. Like we only have a certain vantage point, so it kind of felt that way, right? So that was cool. So they're all nice and dropped. They take their forearms, they're placed right there on the top of the thighs, which is nice. Yeah, hey na na now. And then you have those guys marching on tempo. Notice the pickup of the leg, nice flex foot. They're rising up to the 90-degree angle, which is nice. And then you have your 3 columns here. Everybody is very intentional with where their drumsticks are, which leg is up, which leg is down. Super fun. The marches are fun. And then right here, they did that subtle, boom, they did a little just, was it like a right face? And they go and they face the back. And then notice that we've elevated our level so slightly. We went from literally facing the floor to having our body up nice and tall. Look at the level of the hands. Really nice. And then you have our 2 right here. We love it. I think that's Jungkook, right? Cool. Which, fun fact, if you did not know this, the very first analysis I had released on YouTube under Just Reacts was 7 by Jungkook, which is really fun because I knew most of the dancers in that choreography video, and that was just such a fun thing. Anyway, but the sways are really, really cool. So they have the legs straight and they have to rock their weight between the front and the back foot. It has to be intentional which foot are you rocking with, because that determines after you're done what are you going to do after that. Because so far we've had the habit of doing right faces, left faces, which is that really quick, like crisp turn that you're seeing in a lot of these choices. Marching bands do that, and also the military. So that's why you see a lot of commonalities between those two. And so it is important which leg you step out on pretty much at all times on a lot of these, because it does influence which direction you turn, or you're going to end up having to cheat it, or it's not going to look clean, which is what you have to have whenever you're doing unison with the group, which is what you're seeing. You have 3 columns of unison happening over here, but you got this whole nother group that's being justified with 2 more features, which is really cool. I really like what ends up happening here with these 2. So they're about to go way over here while leaving this formation behind. I love stuff like that. It's such a really natural way to clock your feature, even if they were not wearing, like they were all wearing the same thing. That's my favorite kind of stuff, is knowing, can you find your feature, or who is supposed to be my focus if they didn't have an outfit to show that. Then that's a really good indicator. What I think super cool. So they go and they turn around. See, notice that when they turn, there was nobody who had to switch their feet to do that. So everybody had to make sure that right foot was placed in front so they can turn over to the other side. And then from there, I like the marches. And then even the range is slightly off there, but that goes back to a shoulder flexibility thing, or what the focus, I think, out of the 2 things, whether it's the back arm or the front arm I think was the more intentional one, because you're going to focus on that one first. But also the beauty is the focal point of your 2 features going out of the formation is really, really cool, especially on a big range motion like that. You don't normally see people go in between people that are doing that, which I think is super fun. Then you have all of them nice and low again. Head, it matters, and I like the triumphant, we're walking with determination with the chin is really nice. So yeah, that's Jimin right here with completely barefoot, and then you have Jungkook also being barefoot, and then you have Jin right here, which is really fun. And then they go boom. I really like the hands just kind of just throwing them nice conversational. I think it's super fun. And then having this ISO with the marches. So this right here is harder than you think it is, because anytime you're not looking front, and let's say you have to look up or in the corners, and you still have to march a specific direction, that does require time. and trust that everybody's maintaining the spacing they need, or you're gonna run into somebody because they also are not looking to make sure and seeing where they are. And we'll see a little bit later, I don't know if it was in this one, I couldn't quite see it, but there was a dancer I noticed in the film, the Manifesto film, that he was using his eyes to make sure he was in line with everybody else. And those types of things is like, it's helpful when you have your face here where you can peripherally check, but here you can't check. I'm up here, I can't be checking over on these dancers over here. So that's really impressive, this type of transition. It's very hard to do when you add an ISO polyrhythm on top of a march. And then of course you have your features hanging out over here more on that stage left, and it makes it feel more balanced, right? It's just, there's so much going on, so there's so much to digest, but it's very captivating because of how clean they're going for it on. Really nice. I love that, da 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 da. And then we have all of our members come on, like they own the place, because they low-key do. Cool. And then right here we have all of our dancers, boom, have the arms crossed up nice and tall. You have all 7 right here. Let's go. And I like how it's nice and full. It does remind me of the very position that I talked about with the drumsticks, what they were doing here with the eyes. It kind of felt that way, but it did give the impression that they were looking down, which is nice. So then you have your 3. They do just like a simple 3-step turn to transition, and now have Jungkook as your point feature, which is really nice. I really like this grandpa hat that we're sporting. I do own that same hat. It's a vibe. And then I really like the range on this. Way to freaking go, sir. So bring it through, hit and hit. So all of this is a range check, and it is very impressive the fact that they can sing while they're doing this part, because it requires your core to be so in the know on when to swing all of this without overshooting. It's really, really impressive for me. Like, truly, from physically learning this choreo, I get so tired doing it. So I love it. Maybe I'll revisit it because it's been a couple of years, but I think this was really fun. Just the simple spacing out, going from the positions they were in and creating just your simple windows. It really goes a long way, literally. It takes up a lot of your space. But the important thing is they are contributing environmentally to what's going on, but what our members are doing is they're simply showcasing the choreo. It's the first time that we're seeing the focal point choreo. So it is really important, the type of tone that is set, and they're very good at being consistent in tone setting, which is really nice. There it goes. And then the pulls are really nice, and they use that to do a subtle spread out, which is also super fun. And go hit, yeah, and then they go the swing. We also got to give credit where credit is due with RM, Jen, and Suga. I know with them specifically, they were not known as dancers. I know Suga didn't even want to be in a dance group. He's like, put me in a rap group, and he was told he was going to be in a rap group, but nope, that is so not what this is. But he still gets to rap, and he still got to do a ton of solo work. Is August D, and I freaking love his tone. I think it's awesome. And so it's just the fact that like they're able to pull something like this off. They've been known for synchronicity, they've been known for power, they've been known for stage presence, and the fact that they hold their own so well. If I was watching this and I did not know that information, I wouldn't sit here and tell you, oop, that's your weaker link here, because you really can't tell on this, which is very impressive. They hold their own, and sometimes they even perform more than how the dancers are. But part of it is the dancers are creating and maintaining that military environment, and they're really popping off and deviating from it. So part of it also feels like there's just strict uniformity, which I have seen in their BTS lore. Like No is a good example of that, where there's like this rebellion, or like there's some sense of structure when we want to combat it. It kind of feels like that, where you have your military, restrictive perspective, but then you have your members who are able to really pop off and show this huge extroversion, because all of these dancers can pop off and do this. Sienna, I'm assuming, choreographed this, or was a huge hand in it too, just like I would assume, just like BTS has their go-to choreographer. I'm assuming he could have a hand in this as well. Like, I'm never not going to assume that there's probably other hands in it that we can celebrate and appreciate. Super cool. So they do a little pickup of the feet, the little ball change, they drop it down. Really well done. You still have your level represented nice and high. And then right here, they go into the midline, so they're still hinging. I like the subtlety of the legs, and then we switch up the hands. We go, yeah, yo, yeah. And then right here, I love the swing on that. He's also repping lab. Let's go. Now this is where it's intentionally deviating. Notice that we're going slow, but everyone's making obviously different choices. That's what I love to see, is when we're together, so we can appreciate when we intentionally deviate. Looks great. So here we have this subtlety, boom, boom, with the flip of the hands. We branch it over, and that was such a chef's kiss add-on. Really, really well done on that. So whenever you go, so So you have Jimin go first. No, just kidding. So he goes with Jihye and Taehyung. They go around, boom, boom, boom. And then you have Jin and Jungkook add on. And then you have RM and Suga on the tail end. Really well done. Super cool. Yeah, bring it over, down it up. And then right here, it does feel like the little cleanest gangsta walk I've seen. Oh, it's so fun. Look. Oh, let's appreciate the range on this. I mean, who cares? Like, who cares how much a group is known for it? It is still so fun to celebrate it. It's so cool. Like, look at this. Love it, love it, love, love it. And then you have your dancers a little bit lower on the drumsticks, which I appreciate because it allows us to appreciate this range coming on from BTS here when you have all the other dancers take their drumsticks nice and low. So that looks really cool. And then right here they go, and they're using the hips to help make that step a little bit more full. Really well done on that. And it goes hit, hit, which is also nice. Picking up the arms, making sure the elbows are nice and out. The push, and I love the opposition. And there's a smoothness in the lower body that helps make this depth take place. So this is a choreography thing, but it's also an execution thing. They know how to switch up their textures very, very well to maintain a heartbeat within an 8 count. It's not just we're maintaining the same intensity. It's we're intense, but we're also gonna have and showcase legato and staccato, switch it up, and also be like, hey, we're gonna switch up the formation and make the transition just as captivating as the focal point choreo. That's impressive. Choreography's half the battle. How you do it is also the other half. We love it. And I love this here. It goes here, it goes head. I believe it goes shoulder, so it's just nice little little clocking on that in the ISO, and then we drop it down. I love this pull from the sternum, dropping it. Let's go, J-Hope. And that right there, that's an opposing feature reveal. So you have everybody do their little hops, more individualized. The dancers have not gone on stage. You have J-Hope going the opposite way, going towards stage right, which I love. He hits it through. Love it. I also have seen him in his documentary, Hope on the Street. Oh, that was really fun. It's on Patreon if you're curious on my thoughts there, but I think it was really fascinating to see a lot of styles explored, and I had a lot of different discussions with people on it. It was so fun, but really cool to see him showcase a movement quality here. It's fun. Knowing what I know, like in the sense of like not with BTS, but the fact that I've done analysis, like specifically talking through K-pop groups and the structures of dealing with odd numbers versus even numbers when you have a mega crew concept like this, things like that. It's really cool to be able to explore it and really appreciate it and be able to articulate it the way that I can. It is very dense if you notice. This is going to be well over an hour in the analysis side, and that's fine because we're looking at the performance and the skill set that's being used, which is a lot of information just in any given 8 count. So all that to say, thank you for hanging on if you're still with me. We're not even halfway done. So we're doing a fantastic job. Here we go. So he goes, that's with the hinge, and I like how he takes the hips and he twists it as he goes and does a little heel, and then he steps through. And then here we go, boom, they deviate, really nice accent to match him on the A. And they go A, really fun on that part. They go double it up. Now he has a little group of 3. Then we have a little group of 4 hanging out over here. I see that Jimin's gotten a little bit lower, and others are just making their own little like, hey, what's up over here, which is nice. So they accent, boom, really nice on that. And I like how they're going off stage. Breathe. We always need celebrate a time to breathe, you know? Bringing up, da-da-da-da-da-da, so I really like the, just having the heel and the toe, boom, boom, accent over to the side, we take it over around. Look, now we have the drum sets, let's go. They're subtle, see here, nice little walk, and using the hips to help lead with that, great heaviness in the weight shifts. We go from front back, which is really nice. Bring it up, really nice, and it goes out with the throw, and then notice that we're on tempo right here, let's go. We're here for it. And it goes, I love being able to hear sounds that you wouldn't normally hear if you didn't see a dance visual to show it. That is good musicality. We love to see it. So you hear that in the back. 1, 2, 3. You got Suga, J-Hope, Taehyung doing it. V, we love it. Then right here, they're doing a little accent point going on with the drums. He says, come on with the rock. And I love having my 2. Their bodies facing towards the back, and then they drop a level. So it's still, not really dropping a level, but kind of, but they're creating a really nice angle as they run off. It's super fun. We're here for it. So right here, the switch over is really nice. So you notice there's like a legit snare drum line effect going on. So part of me, I'm curious if we hear quads, which is like the four drums that you see somebody carry, but for the aesthetic, going with the snare makes so much sense here. Then you have Suga. He said hello. Now, how did that happen? Hold on. He was oh, so he goes in and then he goes, huh, wait a minute, let me have my part. And then you have a group of 6 here and then a Suga, so that would be 7. And that is something that I think somebody had brought to my attention whenever I was reviewing Jimin's Who. And the reason why I watched that was because John Bellion was on it and I really enjoyed the track a lot. And the choreo and the staging was fantastic. But here, I did hear that a lot of times BTS, especially in solo work, they try to be intentional with keeping a group of 7, but I don't know if I noticed that in Jungkook's 7. I think there's a chance that I had made a note of it, but I don't think he had 7, like 6 dancers in that. I think he only had 4. But you guys can go and double check that for me. But I think I even made that a point. I'm like, I thought it'd be really cool if he had 6 dancers instead of 4 for that reason. But I digress. Anyway, but maybe it's a Jimin thing. I don't know. But I really like this visual here. We're here to celebrate that. Look at that. It's 6 people. What's up, Sienna? We love you. And then we have one of them right there. Super cool. Love it. Yeah, he has his own moment. Now, the beauty of this is the transition. Look at that. So we go from here and then they take it really nice, going and creating a nice diagonal, and then we reset in the formation. So cool. There they go. Do-do-do-do-do. Really nice ripple on that. Then you have those going from the outside, or not the outside, they're coming off from stage left. I'm really having a fun moment. He has this moment. I love that choice. Da-da-da-da-da. Having everybody on the same page on the angle is really important, and they do a great job of that with the head ISO, really nice. To accent similar to what you saw in our M section earlier on. So this right here, which is nice. They go up, they take their arms back. They have to make sure they're kind of close so the members can grab, but that is the members' responsibility to grab those drumsticks. The dancers don't know if they're behind them. They just got to trust that they are, which they are. Great work. Then you have Suga. He's in the back, so that makes sense. Like, he doesn't have a drum because he's hanging out over here, which we love. So they're all nice and sat down, and I love this right here. My one observation for me, this is just a personal preference, and I understand why they don't do it. I always love it to actually make contact with the drum so it feels more believable, but I understand what the intention is. If anything, I really like the fact that we get to see what's going on in the lower half right here with everybody else. So fun. You have Suga living his life. We're here for it. He's spitting. We love it. So they're really nice and clean. They pick up the feet, and they're nice and bent, and then they extend it out to the side, and then they cross it using that leg that they just crossed with to help push the weight down. Really nice and clear on that. Good job on the members being able to show their own vibe. We're here for it, and then they swing that leg to the front, and then it does feel like we're giving a little butterfly position, but we're just laying on the ground. So it's a good little hip stretch that we clean it and make it nice and crisp. Back in, and then from here they open it up enough to where they can place that snare in, and then the members give them the drumsticks so we can have another moment. V's doing a good job. He has good intention. I love his projection of just his eyes and his focus. It's really nice to see. And then you have Jimin, hey now. Really nice. And then we go and we turn, and they're about to go away. Notice that was really nice. A great way to introduce more members of your dancers, having others face towards their respective outsides. You have more dancers being introduced, so you have a natural mirrored effect in your transition. Looks really cool. Mirrored meaning that like each group is mirrored, like each line, not the center point, and then each side is mirrored. So there is a couple different ways you can go about mirroring formations, which is cool. And then you see your members nice and low in the back if they're not to be featured in this moment, which I think is super fun. I love the subtlety. If I'm being real, I really love the fact that there's a lot of delegation and responsibility going to the dancers for this, and they're holding it down so well. So if the members, whenever they choose to feature, they want to have their moment, and then when they dance together mighty fine. It's always awesome to see. And then from there, they're able to deviate and just have these nice moments of just stoic stage presence, which is awesome. Great stability in their singing and everything. And then the dancers can still provide a really incredible environment that showcases drive and intensity. It's really fun, and this I personally feel is a really great proper usage of using a mega crew or the sheer amount of people. You're using them very well. It takes a village on this kind of stuff. I love it. I like how he goes low, and then you have V just kind of chilling. It's cool. Look at that. Just the visual in the back is freaking insane. I love it. It's so simple, but golly, having the numbers for it is so awesome. I love it. Just walking on tempo. Oh, lordy, I love it. And then you have those that reset to the front. They're still marching to match those that are moving. I always love that. And sometimes when I have dancers that get to their spot too early, I still tell them, still take the same amount of steps, because having one dancer have absence of movement because they're already in their spot, and then you have everybody else like still walking, it can be distracting, but in this case, even if the dancers in the very front stop, I think that would be fine, especially it would be a choreographed stop. But I love the fact that we still have the march coming from everybody, not just the ones that are moving, because it helps us appreciate those moving and those that are staying nice and tall and stoic and having the cleanliness of the arms as well. Really cool. It goes down, boom, really nice on that. And it goes, he brings it to the back, nice little V step on that. And then they go and condense it into our columns. Let's go. And now they still do the cross, but notice it's a different formation setup. And I love the fact that they're running down their respective aisles. We love it. Come on. Hey-oh. And I like how we're having this drive coming from the chest on half of them. Then you have Jin hanging out right here. It looks like he's holding off these three on the side, which is really cool. Your dancers have now spread back out. Super cool. It does feel like my outside lines are nice and straight, and then it feels like we're going into diagonals. Potentially, I could be wrong. That's where a drone shot would be helpful, so you could really see, or an aerial shot. So they're doing the choreo over here on stage right. We love it. Same as what it is. And I like how Jin joins in. That was a fun way for him to join in, and it doesn't feel distracting because he's doing the content, and because the formation is naturally traveling, it doesn't feel off-putting. And then you have, it looks like J-Hope joins in too, which is really cool. And then from here, I like the fact that we've now gone into a square. So it's nice, clean, and linear in this way, which is really nice. And then from there, the swing is super fun, and having those two join in right there on the tail, on the back. Also, shout out to the fact that the dancers, or the individuals, the members that I said had the most improvement in terms of movement quality from their debut to now, are the ones that are closest to the front for this section. It shows you how they can hold it down collectively regardless of where they are placed. And for me as a choreographer, I would always see that as a best case scenario. If I could put someone anywhere I want, the back corner, the front and center, and they'd be able to hold it down everywhere, that is like a blank slate, and you can do so much with that, and you have more creative freedom with that versus saying, hey, by the way, this person is definitely not as refined in the style as the other members are, so you need to be considerate of where they go so they can still look cohesive, but they don't, does that make sense? There are some groups like that, but here they're not giving that energy at all, and I love it. It's so fun, and what a great thing to appreciate. It's so cool. We're here for it. Then right here, I like the subtlety here. It's nice, and then right here, they take it. Good transition on this. Look at that. Love the add-on, just like what we've seen already. Same setup, but I think it's a different order of people. It's Jin in the center this time, which is nice. And then look at the cleanliness. It's simple, but it's clean of what's going on with those in the box. We're here for it. And then right there, oh, look at the ripple coming from the inside, traveling it over to the outside. The visual is just sick when you have the drumsticks. High risk, high reward is how I feel about it. They cross it, uncross it, they come up. Yep, and then there's your basket run. I will always say this, regardless of how incredible a piece is. I've said this about Just Jerk when they did their mega crew for Street Man Fighter. At HHI, whenever I shadow judged at Worlds, or whenever I was on panel for the skills section for HHI USA, it is something that it is probably, it's always something that I'm always going to pick up on. I'm so sensitive to it. When you see basket runs, I understand that there's a cleanliness to them. And this is just a note. This is the only time that I see a basket run in this entire thing, which let's give praise for that, because in a mega crew, you see them a lot more than you want to, especially in the competitive side of things. So when a basket run, what I see when I see that is a missed opportunity to upgrade your difficulty and your creativity, because everybody does that to keep it clean by getting to your spot without being distracting. But when you're oversaturated and seeing it in this type of lens, it doesn't necessarily give the impression of, what's the word? It doesn't feel as creative, but also there's nothing new under the sun. Like, it's a marching band concept. It's not a new concept, but how they packaged it may be new to the niche of industry, genre, to BTS. There's like a lot of newness to it in how it is formatted. So it's still captivating, right? But a marching band concept is not inherently new, right? So a basket run, to me, I respect the fact it's here, but I am still, as somebody who tries, I have to follow through and be consistent, regardless if it's an incredible routine with just one thing. That is the only note that I have for this entire 4-5 minute routine, and that's pretty freaking impressive if I'm being for real with you so far, is the fact that just a basket run for about, I don't know, 6 counts. If they added something to it, literally had the arms placed in a different position, I would have been fine with it. But even then though, that's just, we can chalk it up to in this context because this isn't a competitive routine. It's just a routine with a lot of people. We're just going to chalk it up to preference today. Okay. So, and I am allowed to have that. Okay. Remember my background, my scope. That's where I'm coming from. I'm going to have some natural sensitivities to certain formation schemas and structures than other people. And I think that's okay. Just like a lot of fans or a lot of people who are dance enthusiasts have certain preferences over others. We can celebrate both perspectives. So yeah, so that right there, it makes sense. They go down and I love the boom, the crisp reset. So I appreciate that. So we're going up nice and tall. Really cool. Now here, I love how we have them all branch away, and I like that they go into different respective windows. That's always fun. We're here for it. So they all say goodbye. I like that they take their arms, they bring them up. Then this is really fun. I forgot that this part existed in the track until I saw it in the music video. So nice and dainty. I still have questions if the conch had water in it. Part of me feels like it was, and it was a whole vibe. Or maybe, I don't know. But anyway, it's a loophole that no one cares about. And it does give the impression that they are matching his walk, not the tempo. I like how you have this that sound, and then you have that inside the column right here with the arms. So, I mean, they all have arms, but I really like how they have that, the switch up on that to recognize that sound, and then you have so many dancers walking. But also, what I'm thinking too is in my head, these dancers have to calibrate how long they realistically have to get to their next spot from where they currently are, because they cannot control where they are when, because of all these dancers up here. And so what they have to do is they a lot of times may deviate their tempo for the sake of getting off stage when they're not supposed to be on stage, which is what I think happens. Right, that right there, you notice they speed up right there? That's life. We're gonna just be okay with that. And I love that moment, that brrr, because I gotta be out of frame for when that brrr happens, and they gotta be in their spot for this, right? Because they're another environmental setter. So I love that. Just this right here, you have to engage the lats in order for this to be nice and full. Then you have Jungkook living his life. I love this right here. Da 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 da. We've doubled it up. Then right here we go. They've intertwined. We've already kind of seen that, but just set up in a different way. They have the crosses with the arms. I love that, having the 2 columns on the side. Then you have a whole nother group of every other that march. So now we have 4 to 5 things going on at the same time, and I love it. The direction on this is really well done. So it's full standing, and then you have them march out with their arms low, so it feels like a different level, even though it's not. And then you have my guys here with their arms low, and they're hinged over, and then you have an angle represented here with more of a lean. So that's really fun, and then you have Jungkook in white, living his life right there in the center. That's cool. That's cool. And I like the presentation of that. And then right here with the march of just marching back, and it feels like they're joining the line, but actually they're just going, I think they're just going off back to complete this V or this fullness. Goodness gracious. The fact that you can't even clock everybody in this, it's awesome. And I like this hit and the boom, and they take the energy. So now I'm talking about the center. There's so much to talk about. So they're talking about the guys that are right here by Jungkook. So they're hitting it, and I like the accent as they're bouncing, and they're rocking away from their accent points. It's super fun. And then what are they doing? Everybody else. It's just the marches. So they're crossing. It's really just your positioning is so important on this. And look at that. We got some smiles. It's a 1 take. And the fact is we are well over halfway done. We are getting near the end where that dance break's happening, and that's where a lot of your energy is required. So this right here, and then you have this nice militant hold, then you have everybody drop a level, and I like how we have, I think this Jimin's pots off in the back, and I think he did a wave out of that, which is really nice, and he hits it, fire, look at the angles, we're living in that. We're facing more towards the outside, having that outside elbow up a little bit more. Nice and crisp. There's that pas de bourrée, and it goes down, pas de bout, down, pas de bout, so that it's a downbeat. Boom, da da, boom, da da, doom. And I really like that. It's cool. And the reason why that really works is you have your feature behind Jungkook, but he's really low, just like the other dancers are. So you have this natural feature reveal here, and then you have this other level represented that's on the same level as Jimin, but they're angled out, so it creates a different visual. And you have your other dancers that are lower in level that creates a sense of separation that naturally makes it easier to digest to us. Because what would happen is, let's say Jimin was low, everybody was high, and they were still the same, it wouldn't be as readable, right? First, you couldn't find Jimin. Secondly, you wouldn't be able to differentiate this group versus another group, which is why levels can be so helpful towards how we digest information as an audience, which is exactly what we see here. Love it. We're here for it. And this right here, the drop there, oh my god, we love it. So we have our lines, and then we have everybody do kind of an every other, and they're operating and they switch up on the opposite sides, which is cool. And I just love the simple squat. We lower with our forearms right there at the top of the thighs. I love that. Great angle, making sure that your core is engaged and your arms are nice and locked in as you go and you switch it up. Then from here, you're taking the arms up, and then we roll it in. And then what just happened? How did Jimin do what he just did? Let's look. Ready? He goes, he says, haha, and he freaking clears Jungkook with flying colors. Put him in the Olympics. We're here for it. So they go down, and I love this. Notice it echoes away. And then they all drop. They accent. It wasn't down, and they hold. They went down. Boom. Really cool. And then we have other dancers nice and tall. They go in, they're saying, let's go, let's go. And I would totally be like that too. It's like, hey, let's go. They're hyping it up because, ooh, it takes you, ooh, a little bit and a half. Look, we even got some, we've got RM hanging out over on the side, limited up too. Here we go. Now we've gone into a more, there's a really nice fullness going on by hitting and accenting, even though they're not making the sound, they're giving the impression that they do. And this right here, they're hitting straight up percussion on this. I love it. Now this does give a heavy step influence. I'm here for it. Hit, clap. I really like how we go dun 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 dun, clap. Really nice arms shoot up nice and tall. I like how they swing it. I really like this accent that has some breath behind the tail end of it before we reinstate it. It's cool. Cleanliness of the lines. And it's not just BTS that is tired. It is the dancers. Just because they're showing all these different positions, holding your arm with the drumstick for an extended period of time at any point in time is hard on your hands. I had a fan yesterday. My fingers hurt because I had to hold a fan and open it and close it and itemize it and that kind of stuff. So it's like, just because it gives the impression of ease, that's their job, is to make it look easy, but it's not. If you've done the cover for this, you would probably know how strenuous this can be over time. Just like if I'm holding this pen, it's not heavy, but if I'm holding it for a couple hours, yeah, it's gonna get pretty annoying how tiring that can be, you know. So it all depends on perspective on that. So that's really well done on everybody. So I like how they're there. I love the accent right there from Jimin. That it's so cool. Good stability on that too, because normally when you see somebody really freaking lay out like that, they could fall. So I did great on that. A huge accent in the percussion in that moment, which makes it really fun and easy to read. Then you have your other two on the outside. They come in, and now you have J-Hope coming in hot. You still have the accent points happening from the outside. And then this hinge right here, they accent, they go, they travel to the other side. That you can see J-Hope clock it, traveling it up in isolation through the roll. Then you have Suga, and it gives, I think it's Jungkook, and yeah, and RM. So I like how they scoop nice and low, and then they all kind of pop off over here, and they all escape, and then you have different tiers going on. I like this because why? We've already kind of discussed it. They were low, but now they're a little bit higher. You have your outside layer that's around the same level as your new group, but notice what's happening. There's a layer that is separating between those two, right? Which is cool, and they're nice in a lunge, and they're stoic, and they have to hold it. Bless the knees for that. The quickness on having to get up and down on their knees is they probably have bruises. I get it. So I like the scoop on that. So they go and they set the feet back in a hat, really nice. And then you have the arms crossed. So this is kind of our little fingerprint. We love seeing that. We're here for it. It's nice to see that. And then you have more of like we're playing on a snare right there. And they go, I love that little, and then they clock it and they rotate around. Really great job on that because they don't have both feet to operate from. They only have one. So they have to use momentum of the back to make that happen with the core. Really nice on that. They drop down. I love that. And then you have this boom, boom, boom. It's tripled. Really nice. They come up, a nice little tap of the heel in the back. They go, do a little barrel jump, nice little clock in the heels on that too. And then they go, they swing through, and then you have all 7 members. And then we started a little cypher moment. So this right here, it's a little pas de bourrée sequence. So they're taking the chest and making it an accent point. Could you call it a happy feet or a leg work? Personally, I wouldn't, because it's more of a pas de bourrée because you don't have a pickup or a swipe happening with the leg. But I really like it. I like the timing of it. I like the hey, the energy when you have everybody feeling the same thing as you, which is part of it's a, guys, we're doing the thing. Second thing, guys, we're almost done. Thirdly, you better pop off. Also, a little side note, I don't know how Sienna feels. Maybe next time I see her, I'll ask her. But how she feels seeing them do her choreo. You know what I mean? Like, did she choreograph this part specifically? Like, I don't know the logistics, but my gut tells me she was a huge hand in it, so I'm assuming. But it's really cool to be able to sit there and play the drums and watch people do your choreo and having fun do it. Regardless if it's BTS or your own crew. Like, it just feels really good to have somebody appreciate what you do and care about it the way that you do. And I know they are astronomical hard workers. They are, because you can attest from their discography how much they've put out, their movement quality growth, as well as the different choreography styles explored is super enjoyable. It's just really fun to see. And I like to throw on that. They go, hey, hey, they punch it in. I love the kick on that. Way to go, guys. Love it. And then they go immediately from a super loud movement to a super chill, soft movement, and they're still letting the dancers take responsibility for filling in the gap so they can represent the subtlety very well. I love that. Da, 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 da. They go, hey, notice they're adding this little extra bounce and rock and shifting the weight to make it feel very full. There's a drive. It's similar to like, okay, I'm ready. What do you need me to do? It feels like that, which is exactly what you want to see. And then you have the subtlety from your members. They turn. Jungkook said, let me pull an extra on real quick. We love it. Then right there they go kick, kick with the accent of the arms. They take the hand, da-dum, da-dum, dun. Love the accent with the head, boom, boom. Really nice fullness here. Notice what the dancers have done. They've now come up. Then they've converted to their columns. They're moving in the back. I appreciate that when you still have this fullness, having some form of structure in your framework is really nice, and it just ties everything together super well. Heading it over, and then you have your orchestra come in very nice and seamless. Then from here they go up, bringing it around. I really like the high to the low. Some people may think it's like a Cabbage Patch, Reebok, something along those lines. I think it's a huge variant of that. They come back in. I know Sienna does heavy hybrid of a lot of it. We celebrate it all. Let's go. Let's get a little coffee boost. Here we go. And then right here, they go back in. It does feel like we're doing a little nay-nay, boom, boom, and then we interrupt it. It's super fun. And then right here, you have this sound. Oh, let's go. Where it's super fun. And then right here, they take the arms, they're up, and then you have the subtlety, and then you have this percussion. See, this is what I was waiting on. Look, I feel like it's the actual, like, how they hold that and you like cook on your drum to it. This is what I was waiting on, is what I wanted to see. Like, that's like the snare drums. Let's go. Really cool. Now that feels like the legit representation. You got the bass drum, you got tubas, all the sounds that you hear in the track are here, and thank you for that, because sometimes you have choreography where they have instruments in the choreo that are not played in the music at all. Here in this case, what did I say from the get-go? It's a marching band. You can hear it's a marching band. You have other synths and things involved, but the underlying like percussion and production is a marching band. So having marching band instruments makes so much sense here. And look, this is the instrument I was talking about, the quads. I'm so glad to see them. Good to see you, because I was hearing them in the track and we get to see them. So I feel like it's the legit equivalence of wordplay. But it's sound play. So thank you for that. It's not like we're bringing out a violin on when we're hanging out in the marching band side of things. Like, could you pull a violin? Yes, but is that normally in a marching band? No. So it's little things like that. I love it. And then from here, I love they just slowly reach the arms up, and then you have just the marching band, which is nice. You can kind of hear it. They're playing. Now look, it looks like they're actually playing. Are they playing? Most likely. I love it. And then you have the subtlety here, and boom, boom, yeah. And I do 4 of them, right? Boom, 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 boom. And then we do a nice little slide of the tap with the shoulders. We accent with the hand. Just the framing of it. Oh, even the mirroring of the tubas. Oh, tears. Thank you. Thank you. It just feels thought. It just feels thought out. You know, we're not just randomly putting people in whatever spot. We're putting them where they need to be placed, right? So having your tubas here, having them there with your bass, then you having your snare and your quads. Thank you for that. I love it. We're here for it. I mean, yeah, and it goes 1, 2, and then we go a little bit more full, hitting it right there into the gut. We love it. And then we have V hanging out here. He's like, hey, let me just pop off right here. And I love the speed change, not just with the drumsticks that we were introduced in the first chorus, but we got to see it here with all the members having a lot of fun. And you can even see with everybody else is in slow-mo except for him. And they go back in on na na na. He has his moment. We love it. And they go back in, they go hit, look at the pulse, look at the drive happening in the outside, allowing this marching band, just a presence exist here, and having your members here. Hey, yo. Yep, so it's a different course now, so let's talk about it. I love the cheers on this. Oh, hold on. So I like the kick. And the kick, they're taking the energy and they're pushing their body back to the kick, which is nice. So they go down, boom, nice full and shoosh to the back. And they go da-da-da, punch, da-da-da, punch. We love to see that. Then we punch it once more. So they do it about, I think about 3 times, maybe 4. Then we go a little step out, some subtlety in the chest. We're here for it. And then you still have the percussion going up right here, and then you have the marching band doing its thing. So it's really, the focal point is BTS here, but notice there's these extra shouts and cheers. It feels more united in the back, so having more of a physical quantity presence justifies that as well. Super fun. So they go, they take it out really nice. So they pull it like a little, like they're about to shoot off something, which is really cool. And they go, they throw it, and then they still have that. There's your subtlety. And it goes da 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 da, boom, accent with the shoulder. Let's go. And then, yep, then they go in, and then nice little pulse going on right here with the chest and picking up the legs. And then you have everybody march to the inside to fill it in, so it's no longer on the outside, but you have them all expanding more towards the back to make it feel more unified. And then we go, we pulse. Yep, they do it about 3 to 4 times. They go, hey, yo, using the fist. We love to see it. Now, they can't punch that hard because look what happens when you do that. So you have to showcase fullness, but you have to be practical on how full you actually do it. So it looks really nice. Yeah, there we go, rotate it to the back. And then right here at the tail end, they go, they drop the sticks, and they all finish nice. I think this is... when you're finished, you're getting ready, or when you are finished with your performance, a lot of times this is how you would see in a competitive marching band for sure, but a marching band in general, how they would hold it. So that's really nice, definitely nice and stoic, and I love this finish. It's just really nice to kind of like looking back, and then of course saying no more dream, and then they took the no more and they just put dream. Oh, that's so cool. It really feels like debuted, and now look at us, we're on, we are turned all the way on, and I love it. And I love how they can kind of look at each other, but they're looking up. It's a fun moment. Boom. Drumsticks, really nice. None of this that we get to experience, no cheers or anything, but I think that'd be really fun. But in general, this was super fun. It took about as long as I was expecting, but I don't mind it. I think this was fantastic, and I think it was such a joy for this one to be the first one that I analyzed from like the whole group, and I'm excited for the discussions that we're gonna have on it as well. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. Thank you, Beth, for the request. I'm excited to also take a look at diagnosis a little bit later this month, but like I said, I'm glad to have looked at this first to really get a really good idea of where they are movement quality wise collectively before I look at a live performance equivalence, because I know it's going to be wild. It's going to be really cool, and I do know it involves a table. It's a whole thing, a huge production. Can't wait to look at it. If you want to be like Beth and you want to influence directly what I look at, if you want me to see more BTS in whatever order you want me to see it in, you can go on Patreon. I have a couple tiers that allows you the opportunity for a guaranteed reaction request, and I am totally excited, like I had mentioned, for the conversation on this. Please keep in mind that I did the best that I could in the prep work of like being aware of who is involved in it, as well as appreciating what we got to see too. So if there's something that I left off, please kindly in the comments just bring the attention there. And if it's something that is like a logistics on everybody involved, I'll pin it, and so everybody can therefore see it underneath. So it's a collaborative effort. I want to collaborate with Army on this. I don't want it to be like I know something that I don't. I'm very clear in my own scope of what I know and not. I just like the fact that this exists. We get to talk about it and explore why this freaking works and why the schema of it was so successful, at least in my perspective and my lens. And my eyes are dilated too, which shows you that I liked it too. This is fun. You guys know me, I know you. I'm Jess, and I will catch you on the flip side. Bye.